This series of technical seminar-style videos dives deep into the world of ice fishing, uncovering detailed patterns and hidden techniques with the ultimate goal of helping you catch more and bigger fish this ice fishing season. Welcome to Expose the Ice, presented by Clam Outdoors and Onyx Fish. Welcome back to another episode of Expose the Ice, presented by Clam and Onyx Fish. All right, so we're going to do a little bit diving into run and gun power fishing strategies for giant crappies. This is something we do a lot. We have a lot of experience with this, and it's one of our probably favorite way to go catch them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with the advancements we've had in kind of technology, I would say over the last 5 to 10 years, this is kind of a newer technique that has really showed up because you weren't really able to do this very effectively until stuff like Mega Live and other forward-facing sonars came out. So, biggest thing to be successful with this, number one, first of all, you got to find a place that has big fish.
Yep.
And in order to do that, we are now using the Onyx Fish app. We talked about forever, we were doing DNR lake surveys. And this app has made everything 10 times easier now. So that's really what it comes down to. Is this app is awesome. It's free right now. Going to be free for a limited time, basically in 2025 at some point. There will be a paid subscription needed. And at that point, come on back to these videos. We'll have a promo code. But until then, use it for free. This app is ridiculous, and it's only going to keep getting better. So all we got to do is, Griff, you want to talk people through how, we're going to find a trophy lake. We're in Otter Tail County.
We got this area here. Waldo's going to pick species, which is going to be crappie, obviously. Then he's going to go down here and pick the toggle that says trophy potential lakes. And then he's going to go to fishing spots, pull up, and here we got this Swan Lake here. He's going to go ahead and click on that. It'll show us the overview of the lake, the survey of the thing, 5 to 14 inch length range. Very good year class. But yeah, this just makes it so much more efficient where you're not looking through each lake. You can literally click on it. It's going to give you the lakes. And now you can go there and figure out how to break them down.
Yeah, and it gives you historical data. You can get different access sites, you name it. We've never fished here. I guess maybe we should, but yeah. And obviously there are also lakes that don't survey well. There are lakes that survey well. You never really know, but this is a great starting point. So number one, you got to get to a place where they live. Yeah. Now, when you look at when we look at the app, Waldo, if you want to go back to the fish data. So go back to Swan Lake, scroll on down, like Griff said. So the biggest thing is there numbers or are they roamers? Now, when you look here, you can see that, like Griff said, there's a bunch of year classes. And there's good keeper potential here. However, it says the abundance is low. So that means that there might not be a ton of them in there right now. And with the way the lake is structured, it could be hard to find them. But you do have big fish potential. We like fishing low density lakes. We talk about this a lot, actually. And then the next thing is, when you're going after this, Griff, is what are they eating, right?
Yeah, are they eating bugs? They're eating minnows. You just have to figure out their forage and then kind of attack it. And if you go on this, the overview of the lake, it'll actually show you down at the bottom what kind of food sources in the lake. So that'll help you dial that in a little faster so you can be more efficient while you're fishing.
Yeah, and now, basically, like we said, this is run and gun. Waldo and Pink are going to dive into what that means to us and how you can do that effectively on lakes you want to catch big crappies.
Now that you've actually started fishing one of these places, what you're going to need to do is kind of develop or start to use a system. So what we like to do is to start by finding the fish, and then once we do, since they're generally going to be smaller groups of fish, not big schools, is try to get ahead of them, and we're trying to use forward facing to position somebody out in front of them. So what we're trying to really figure out is how are those fish moving, or maybe they're just sitting still. A lot of times we'll drill on top of them, and if they don't move, even better. But if they do, we're trying to get somebody with a bait in front of where they're going to try to get to their level before they get by.
Yeah, so a lot of times we're reading how fast they're actually moving, and if the guy that we're positioning is going to have enough time to even get down in front of these fish. So you're trying to quarterback, really, is what it is, where you're positioning a guy way out in front of the fish. With run and gun fishing, tag team option is by far the best, where you have one guy with the live and you got another guy with an auger and a flasher unit of some kind. Being able to stay super fast and mobile is the name of the game here. So having a guy to be with you and then trade off is by far the best way to do it.
Yeah, and we had an awesome time doing this, especially towards the end of last season. But I think season 4 is episode 11 was awesome. We caught some really, really big fish in that episode, but it was not picking them out of super huge schools. It was definitely smaller bunches of fish, getting ahead of them or drilling right on top of them before they would leave and getting a bait to their level right now.
0 care in the world.
Got him. Oh my god, I got one freight training me too. Doubled up.
This is so big! Yes!
Oh, how did I get this little guy?
Want to see a 14? Because that's one of them.
Beautiful.
They're never small like this, ever. Okay, I just popped this one. We're gonna get a quick measurement like Waldo said. It's windy. That is 13 3/4 all day. All day. Look at how tall this thing is. Okay, we're gonna get this back. Okay, so like Waldo said, we just got out here. We found the school, like, and there's multiple of them around. They're grouped up. They don't care about us. It's the perfect day, and it could happen right now. Like, this whole 4 years could happen right now. So we're gonna get after it. This is one of the best bite windows I've ever seen on this lake, and we just need to keep up to them now.
Got him. It's not big.
Not big? What do you mean?
What do I mean not big? It's a tank.
Jesus Christ, man.
Absolutely smoked. Absolutely smoked the Tikka minnow. Just got this stud. Another 13. Beautiful fish, super tall, super wide. Get him back down. Let's go, buddy. We found him. Okay, we're gonna get back on top of the school, but I just got that one on. Yeah, I still don't know what this color is called, but it's a purple tiger looking Tikka minnow, and it is smacking right now. And we've got another one down there.
Yeah, and season 4, episode 1 was another really good example of that, where the boys were out and they were constantly moving and grooving, trying to stay in front of those fish, working together as a team. Guys scanning, guys drilling holes and fishing, and trying to, keep out in front of them as fast as possible.
And there's our first crappie. And that Tikka flash is gagged.
Get another rod.
Yeah, get another rod. There's a ton of them. Pink, can you show the live what that looks like and talk to it? Yeah, it does not look good, but there is a piss load of them, Griff.
So here's their hole right there, and this is a pot of fish. We've been watching these the whole time, but it hasn't really looked like fish. They're just so tight to that mud bottom, but it almost just looks like fuzz. Normally they look a little more distinct than that, but right in here, that's a school of crappies, and the boys are plucking on them right now.
There's a lot of us.
Yeah, as soon as I dropped down, there were like 15 of them there. I don't think my juicer's down all the way, so it doesn't look the greatest, but your bait will get down there and it's just gonna be like, yep, like that. All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Griff got one. Look at how fat that thing is. That Tikka
Chubby.
flash too.
Yeah, Tikka flash to the throat. Look at that. This fish.
Oh, already got one. Caught it. He caught it on the way down. This one feels bigger. Oh. Same size. Nice eater. Look at that thing. Just gone. It's literally gone. Yeah, I mean this is ridiculous. Look at that.
Are they coming up pretty aggressive?
Oh, yeah.
But again,
Jesus Christ.
your hook's probably foul.
Here, let's see if they get this again and then they
I bet that's it. What you got?
you go, Rod.
We're just gonna wheel and deal out of one thing. Oh, that's a solid one.
Gone. Gone. Can you say gone?
Gone.
Gone.
So once you find those fish and you're starting to drill on them, sometimes it can take a little bit of time to really get a bait position perfectly for one to either see it or get it to actually activate and come up and eat your bait. So a lot of times what will happen is you get on a fish, you drop, and you might be behind them, not live. Sometimes it's hard to tell which way a fish is facing. But if you can start to determine that and you're dropping behind a fish and you're not getting bit, trying to drill more and more holes around that area or literally on top of one fish to try to get a bait position perfectly can really make a difference between like scoring huge and not getting any bites.
So another thing to pay attention to is the height of the fish in the water column. You always want to keep your bait suspended above the fish or the level the fish is coming in at. If you drop past that fish, you can really screw things up and sometimes completely spook them out of the area entirely. So keep that bait above the fish. Crappie's eyes are on top of their head. They constantly want to eat upwards. So keeping that bait, you know, hovering right above that fish's head is key. A good episode for this is going to be Season 3, Episode 11, Freaks of the Northeast. You know, that's when we were out in Maine and we were doing a lot of this run and gun style fishing for, you know, onesie, twosie type schools of fish.
Yep.
Keeping that bait in front of them and above them was key.
Yep. There's 4 of them. 5 of them. Yeah, they're grouping up at 30 feet.
Oh, they're here. Come on, get down there. Get down there. Yep. This is crazy. Here he comes. Got him. Ooh, that one's heavy. Feels really, really big. I didn't get an excellent hook set, but ooh, he's dogging. This one feels big, dude.
Yeah, he looked really big. I thought it was 2.
It's like, it actually feels heavy. Those other ones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, that's a moose. Yes, dude. Look at that crappie, dude. That's a blimp.
Nice job.
That is so sick. That's what we're looking for. Holy crap.
16, no, 15 and a half.
15 and a half, but this one's tall, dude. 15 and a half skyscraper. All right, we're gonna try to get a weight on this thing. 15 and a half, but this is by far the biggest one I've seen today by weight. It's super built. Let me clip it on the scale real quick. See what we got.
2.02.
202?
Locked in at 2 pounds, exactly.
2 pounder. God, the build on these fish is incredible. I've never seen any crappies like this ever. Their head is just so big. I think I've said that a bajillion times, but every time they come up, you're like, oh my God. I mean, look at the mouth on this thing. That's ridiculous. I can't wait to see an even bigger one. Like, these fish are insane. This is so nasty. God, and just freaking smashing a pinhead. That's our absolute favorite way to catch these things, and they're just doing it dirty today. All right, I'm just gonna get this thing back. That's an absolute moose of a crappie. I can't even believe that thing. So sick. I can't believe it keeps happening. Every time it's like you feel like you have a shot to go get one, you drop down and they're just racing up, and it's like literally just stare at your rod tip and it just wham, pinned. Unbelievable. Freaking Maine, dude. God.
He's in front of you because he just came this way because of you. 60, yeah, right there. Yep, drop down there. He's gonna swim right under the hole.
Got him. It was just falling and a brick just came. Ooh. Ooh, I can't see, there's so much slush. Oh my God, every single time, dude. God. It's crazy every single time. Look at that. It's just ridiculous. All right. Another one on the pinhead. Little chartreuse. God, this thing moves. So sick. So freaking sick. God, I don't even know what to say anymore. These things are just monstrous. There you go, 14.5 incher again. Ooh. Crazy, it's just like 14, 14.5, 15, 15.5, 14.5. Just, it's everything you could ever want. This is just crazy. And I can't believe that they get bigger than this. Like, we just keep talking about how there's like 18s live here. 20s freaking live here. 5 inches longer than this fish. That's ridiculous to even think about. But we're gonna try to get one. Send it back. This place is sick.
Dude.
While you're out doing this, you're gonna be kind of targeting either individual fish or small groups, but in the meantime, while you're chasing down fish, it always pays to start panning around with your forward-facing sonar, because you never know when a small group could move in, because you're basically just sitting out in the basin. Fish come and go all the time. So while you're focusing on maybe 1 or 2 fish, you could have a group of 5 that are coming in behind you, and depending on where they are, like Waldo was saying, where they're positioned in the water column, typically those higher up feeding fish are going to be the ones that are going to bite. So we look for high flyers all the time, just randomly around while we're chasing the fish that we're kind of targeting.
Yeah, and a lot of that is also, you're going to be able to duplicate patterns off that too. Once you find an area where there are those onesie twosies, those larger fish, you can typically duplicate that pattern around the rest of the lake, whether it's an inside turn or a steep break of a basin. Make a mental note of that. And if there's another spot on the lake that looks just like it, odds are there's going to be fish there too.
So the electronics portion of this is super important. We like to stay as mobile and fast as possible with it, try to keep things pretty trim, but the Humminbird Mega Live shuttle unit is pretty sweet. You can trim down your battery without using a super big one, either using an 18 or a 23 amp hour battery in there. And it's going to give you plenty of juice for a full day. You might not get a lot past that. You're going to have to recharge. But the nice thing about it is you can run around all day with it. No concerns about it. Just recharge it and you're good to go.
Yeah. And so now we're going to shift over to big baits, and Bart and Griff are going to take this one over.
Okay, now for the nitty gritty, the details of kind of what you need to fish with to make this happen. Because with running and gunning, the baits and the setups are honestly probably the biggest deal with this.
Right.
So number one, you're using big, heavy baits that get down quickly. The biggest thing when you're running and gunning is getting a bait in front of a fish, because most of the time when you're doing this, these fish are predators and they're active. So as long as you present something to them that they want to get after, they will. You work these baits aggressively. This is when you hear us talking about pounding a bait. You're just kind of smacking it. I mean,
Right.
that's
Really
the
get
best
their
way to put it.
attention, yep.
And then profile, they're big and aggressive, and you're just looking to get a reaction strike. And a lot of times when you're fishing like this, when you look at your flasher, you're working a bait and you will see the fish surge at it, or vapor trail as we call it, because they're committing to it, they're trying to kill it. So diving into this, Griff, we got baits and presentations. What are we getting into here?
Okay, so like Bart said, we like to use bigger baits, faster falling baits, and a lot of times these bigger fish, we're not targeting them in schools of 50, it might be 5. And these fish are just roaming around. They don't really see a lot of baits because they're not hanging out with these big schools that a lot of people set up on, like community holes and whatnot. So one bait we like to use is new bait that Clam brought back this year, the Cyclo Shad. Actually, this is one of Waldo's favorites last year. But we pair that with Pink's rod and a Masago reel. I mean, it gets down quick, it's aggressive, draws fish in from a long distance because of the rattles. And then what's another one we got, Bart, that you really like?
Yeah, and when you're going with that Psycho Shad, they have like 3 or 4 different sizes, I think.
This is one of the smaller ones.
Yeah, it's the 1/12th, I think it is. Their weights are a little weird. But, okay, now we're heading over to another one on a Pink Chronicle. This is Pink's rod shines with these techniques. So we have got a double drop XL jig rigged up with NIKU Plastics Flutter Fry. This is a bait we had a ton of involvement with. We designed it and we made this bait for this technique. Fishing aggressively and getting after fish. The horizontal wings on it, the way it falls, it glides. It works almost like a glide bait, but it's a soft plastic version. It works awesome. We've had a ton of success with it. And like Griff said, the biggest thing is you want to get down quick. And because of how differently this falls than other baits, it can be the deal, in my opinion, sealing it when maybe they're not fully committed.
Right.
You just need something that's a little bit different on the fall. This tends to be that. Once again, a Masago reel and Pink's rod getting the work done.
Yep. And then a new rod we brought to the line this year is called the Pinnacle. And this is going to be, basically, we designed this for pinheads alone. Like, so we took the original Griff blank, made it 27 inches. So if you want to put a spinning rod on it, like a Masago, you can do a Schooler Elite, and then our favorite, the old Schoolie. So check it out, the Pinnacle rod at Thorne. Super excited about this rod, but it's going to be great for pinheads anywhere from 16th or 1/32 all the way up to an 1/8.
Yeah, so those are kind of the baits and what you're going to need to get the job done with this power fishing and run and gun style. So other than that, I guess that's all we really got to talk about with this one. If you have questions, leave them down below. We'll do our best to get back to them. But until the next time, thank you for watching another episode of Expose the Ice.